What is up, beautiful people of this planet? It is your boy, White Trash Willie, sitting aside you with a lovely guest that we've had previously on the show. But last time that we talked, Chris had to go somewhere very important, and we didn't get to really go into the depths of Chris Farris's mind. So today, we're going to go into the depths of Chris Farris's mind.
Oh, no. This might turn ugly. If we go there, then you're gonna have to open up yours too. So it's not.
No. That's the whole point. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Man.
I'm down.
All right, let's get down to the dark places.
So Chris, how's life been, man?
Dude, life's actually been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't vibing my hometown really. I needed to change things up, so I came here to Arizona. So I'm gonna be here for like a month. And I'm stoked.
I'm
love
stoked.
Being here, man.
I love that you're here, and I think that we're gonna have lots of good times together. And I feel like you're really gonna like Arizona, because if you're gonna come here at any time, this winter time is a really good time to be here because it's really nice weather, and I don't know, it's gonna be sick.
Dude, in Cali, I was waking up and I was doing runs in the morning, and it was like, dude, 35 degrees. Oof. My hands were like so brisk, I couldn't hold it together. I was having to wear like thermals each day. It was ridiculous. Now that I'm here, dude, the morning runs, I can actually like wear a tank top or something.
That's crazy. So are you still 100% training and preparing for competitions, even though the season is kind of in a weird state right now?
It's a good place to kind of start, I guess. 2020 hit hard, as you can imagine, for every athlete, not just in scooter industry. But yeah, 2020 hit me hard specifically. I mean, I had a really great season, 2019. I felt really strong, really comfortable with my capabilities leading into 2020, and I was at the best physical condition I've ever been at in my life. And then COVID.
You look like a sculpture back then.
Like a statue.
Like, I just imagine somebody with a hammer and a chisel. I guess that was you.
I was not messing around for a long time. I was out keeping my heart rate really high each day. Had, my structure that I had was following to get to Worlds. And I was better than I've ever been previous to a contest, and then COVID, and then, lockdown, and then in the house all day long, trying to stay motivated, trying to remember the goal. But as the months progressed, as you can imagine, it starts to get hazier and hazier and hazier until finally one day you're just waking up in your room at 12 o'clock and you're like, shit, what happened to my day? What happened to my motivation, my life?
That's like the weirdest thing I feel like about COVID, is because I feel like everyone's kind of just gotten maybe almost a little bit lazier in a way, but it's just been like the lack of, I feel like, overall motivation in the world. And I feel like it kind of rubs off on one another. It's not like I haven't been productive or anything, but it's just like, I feel like my schedule and my daily structure has just gotten real loose. If you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I get you. It's like haywire. It's like they just jammed a rod into your consistency, and they're like, okay. I guess that is an interesting thing about it all, is because we all get to see what's important to us.
Yeah. That's really interesting. It's like what I find is interesting is what I've missed about everything being closed and what I really haven't missed. And I just feel like we're so blessed to have like skate parks still open, like for the most part. It's like, could you imagine if every skate park in America was just like completely closed since last March?
Well, we had that example. I mean, for the first phase of COVID, we didn't have any ability to ride, well, at least not indoor parks. I mean, you had the like uncity funded outdoor parks that didn't have fences or something that you could always go ride. But as far as indoor parks or just quality parks in general goes,
I guess like in the UK, stuff is still closed. Like, could you imagine?
Aussie too, Australia, over on the Gold, or is it Gold Coast that's still shut down?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's bad too. Like they were saying, you can't even leave your certain square footage of your house. Like at least California didn't get it that bad.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I'm really curious to see how 2021 plays out, because I feel like there's a lot of tension going into it that has been built up for a long time. And I feel like when 2021 started, I feel like it's kind of been like a chill vibe so far. Like I feel like when 2020 kicked off, it was like World War, blah, blah, blah. Like there's all these crazy things right off the bat, but I feel like it's been like kind of mellow this year.
We've had a decline since the end of the year. We've had a decline. It's definitely given us some hope for 2021.
Yeah.
I do hate that 2021 insinuates that 2021.
I saw that meme. Yeah.
I hate the internet sometimes. You know that one.
Yep. The 20. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So do you have any travel plans for this year? Like at all? Like, do you have anything that you're like
Florida? Do have a few actually. Yeah, Florida would be really cool if I could link up with you guys in Florida. That'd be fun. I want to film a video Cody's filming a video right now, which kind of motivated me to film one. So yeah, I'd like to get a couple trips done. I haven't set anything in stone yet. I didn't do much in 2020. I only did a few trips, but they were great. I did East. I did, let's see here. I wanted to do North Carolina, but wasn't able to. I think that's where I'll go. I want to go to North Carolina. I want to go train
Go
with
up to
bikers.
the farm.
That's farms for the main reason is the farm, yes. But as far as my plan for this year goes, and like what I'm gonna do to try and just do things differently and train differently this year, is to train with bikers. You know, because bikers have been around longer, their industry is a lot more developed, and their contest mindset's a lot more structured. They
How
have a
so?
really clear
How
plan.
so?
Because their sports reached levels that ours hasn't, obviously, and so the intensity behind training and not necessarily intensity, but just focus on result of outcome when it comes to training. A lot of scooter riders train and they go, okay, as long as I'm getting my heart rate up, then I must be benefiting my, competition standings or my ability to compete.
Yeah.
Whereas the bikers are like, okay, I'm using my lat muscle on this trick and I'm using my, hamstring on this trick. So let's go build those muscles, come back, and then see if that trick's easier now.
Do they really do that?
Dude, it's insane, man. I was talking to Jeremy Malott in Havasu just the other day, and the type of training that he was talking to me about, he's been trained by Daniel Dares, he's been training with Daniel Sandoval. Like that, to me, I see that, and I see a better structure than what I've been following. So I want to get on that. And Daniel Dares is a good example because he's been around for literally forever. Like so
and
many
he's like
gold
older
medals.
too, and he's still killing it.
One of the guys that you could look up to for sure.
I heard from somebody that like he's been really quiet recently about like all the tricks that he's been learning and all the tricks that he's been doing, just because he's been saving it all for like the Olympics.
I wonder if he's on a comeback.
I that's what I've heard, is that like he's been really like you haven't seen anything from him, but like he's saving it for the Olympics.
He's definitely been keeping it down low. I'd be surprised if he came out with a new bag of tricks just because of how long he's been around in the first place.
I mean, he invented the cash roll, right?
No, that was Mad Dog.
Was it Mad Dog?
Brett Benesewich, yeah.
Daniel Dares did invent it.
Did he land it though?
Yeah, he was
I
the
thought
first
Daniel
one.
Dares-
He
Okay,
didn't
then yeah.
fly out
Then
at
yeah.
some contest.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, Mad Dog did the first cash roll combo. He did cash roll tuck,
Yeah, so
or
it was.
cash roll trick.
Got you. Yeah, no.
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's wild. Like, and I think that's such an influential trick in like scootering even.
dude, it's one of my favorites as well.
So that's pretty wild how they literally go through and train muscles for specific tricks. I've thought about that, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that makes a lot of sense of like to do that. I don't know.
Oh
like,
yeah, and if you don't do it in the right way, you might build a muscle too much or too little, or you might build it in the wrong way, and now that trick might actually be worse. So if you don't follow that structure, then you might just end up in a dead end.
I think about that a lot, and like what makes a scooter rider great. And like a lot of the times I feel like a lot of scooter riders, sometimes it comes down to like body proportions and like what tricks people are like naturally good at, and what tricks like people strive towards. It's almost like their body proportions like dictate that. I've noticed that like the more short guys who are stronger, like those are the guys that are good at flips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
and you see their style kind of correlating to their body type.
exactly.
Your body type kind of decides where you fit on the food chain, and also the scooter you choose to fit that body type.
Yeah. No, and it's just interesting because I don't know, it's like your body proportions dictate your riding, and like then if you go
far extent,
and
definitely.
then if you go and you train those specific areas of your body, then it's like you're then like building your body for a specific set of tricks, which is crazy. Do you think there'd be a way to build your body in a way to be able to be good at like all of the tricks, or do you think that you would it's only possible to build your body for selected tricks?
Well, I think you can find a multiple muscle algorithm type training algorithm that could help with a majority of the tricks. I don't think you're going to be able to get everyone. You know, you might notice that for scootering, I notice a lot of the effort is being put in my lower back and my legs is where a lot of like the stress is. So I try and do my best to do, lumbar exercises and hamstring exercises, build my legs before session. Stretching is a huge thing. But as far as workouts that you can do to improve every bit of your riding, I'd say endurance is the key. If you want to be, especially for contest riding, because you're going to get to that 30-second mark, everything's going to you're going to have to rely on the training you've done. Because at that point, your brain shuts down. You have no idea what you're doing. You forgot your run. You're only focusing on the announcer, and like your head's just everywhere. So at that point, you just have to like relapse on the training that you've done, like all muscle memory at that point. So for me, endurance was the biggest benefit of training that, went into contest.
Yeah. Have you found that there's like a specific exercise or a specific area of your body to work out that benefits your scootering the most besides from just overall endurance? Like, is it like you find that your arms are like the thing that you rely the most on? Is it like, I don't know. Is it like, what is it?
If you're talking for maybe a kid listening, and
that's what I'm.
So I would say use your body weight is the best reference point as far as what can translate over to your scootering abilities is use your own body weight. So push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups, on the ground. That's going to be the best for you because you're never taking too much weight when you're using your own weight. Your body's meant to be, if you're doing push-ups with your own weight, that's absolutely the best thing you can do, in my opinion, because you're not adding, you're not, it's not like you're taking weight away. There's certain ways, like when you're doing stretching, you can do like inverted stretch or slowly, go into it, which is what a lot of athletes do. And I say if you're a kid and you're looking to increase your trick levels based off of your physical ability, I'd say use your own body weight. Run, sit up, push up, pull ups, key.
Got you. Yeah. I know that's so interesting. Like, I feel like you're probably one of the only few people in this world who's actually like eaten and working out for specifically scootering. And do you feel like if kids followed like almost the exercises and plans that you did, okay, what I'm trying to ask is, like, if you started all of your exercises and things early on in your life, do you think that would have propelled your comp riding further?
Well, I did actually.
You did?
Because I was gymnastics all the way up until I reached action sports. I started in action sports when I was like 3 years old on a skateboard.
Wow.
But I didn't take it seriously until I was about 11 or 12. When I was about 12 years old, I came to the conclusion that I wanted to be world champ. About 12 years old when I picked up the scooter for the first time. So I don't really. What portion of the question do you want me to?
It's just like
talk about.
I'm just curious because I feel like there's so many kids out there right now that are just like going to the skate park, like eating horribly, not working out, not doing anything, but they're like have their sights set on like winning scooter competitions. And I feel like it'd be beneficial for them to like see your outlook on that, because I don't know. I feel like I've heard you say before, like, when I'm eating whatever I want, I'm the best mentally. But then you're like, you're also still kind of on a strict diet. Like, where's like the magic line? Because like, obviously maybe you can just eat bean burritos and just like go, but like,
all the day.
But like, I don't know, like, where do you think like the happy place lies for like a kid?
Yeah, I'd say get your mind right first. Figure out what it is you want, because it's not for everybody. Not everyone's going to be a world champ, obviously.
Not everyone can't be a world champ.
No, not everyone can be, exactly. So if that's the path that you want in scootering, it's not a fun path, in my opinion. It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of self-control. And a lot of those things scare people. But to me, that stuff is fun. Like, I enjoy waking up in the morning and it's super cold and going out on a run. And the whole time I'm thinking in my head, this is helping me. Like, this is going to help my career. This is going to help my endurance. This is going to help that contest that I have in my mind.
Yeah.
All those kids out there, I'd say, figure out what it is you want. If you want to be a world champion, that's a very, very small line.
Self-discipline is a must.
Oh, it's the first step. Yeah. Self-discipline is the first step. And then also a clear goal, a very, very, very clear goal. For me, it was world champion. At this point now, that's not really the goal. I'm a little bit older. I've changed my perspective on what I think is important. But I had that goal to push me through all those times that I wanted to give up, that I wanted to focus on something else, that I wanted to, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So get your character in order, figure out what it is that you want, then apply the effort. And there's no such thing as too much or too little. It's like, just work on where you're at, keep going, pushing until you get to that point that you're ready to test yourself in a crowd of other people, see where you fit on the food chain, and then restructure, regroup, get back to the drawing board, get back to the workouts, get back to the exercises.
Facts. No, that's so interesting. And so I feel like a lot of the times, and I feel like I've experienced this before, and I want to hear your outlook on this. It's like, I've been at the skate park before, and I feel like I've done tricks, or I've gotten like, I've rode around the skate park on like a lap before, and like did like a lot of tricks consistently in a row. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, yeah, like I could be in a comp.
Hell yeah.
Like what's good, And really, that's just ego when it comes down to it. And I feel like a lot of the times what happens is these kids will like learn a lot of tricks to like, and they'll like learn a lot of tricks, and then when they go to the competition, they'll place poorly, and they won't do that well. But it's like they have the tricks, you know what I'm trying to say? They have the tricks, but they can't translate the tricks to the riding. And it's like, I feel like they get beat up in a sense, or at least their ego gets beat up, because it's like they know they're a good rider, but they're struggling. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, because in competition. So like for kids out there who have the tricks, what advice do you give them to basically like do better in competitions?
Stop doing tricks.
Stop
learning
doing
more
tricks.
You only need 15 tricks. Look at Dakota Shoots. Dakota Shoots won every world title that you could win on 15 tricks.
Really?
Yeah. The same 15 tricks every single run. I do the same thing. I do the same 15 tricks in almost every single run. It's just each run's going to be different. I'm going to put them in different places, and I'm going to, structure it differently. But stop doing tricks. If you want to be a contest rider and you have a good bag, figure out how to put those tricks together in a way that, like you were saying, that you can feel that motivation of getting 14 done and then getting that. I think also a huge portion of it is setting unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
You get these kids out there that think that they have to keep up with the level of tricks that are going on in the world right now, which is the best contest rider in the world is not doing that crazy stuff, like they're
that's so interesting. I feel like there's like the stunt riders in a way.
Good point. Yeah.
And then there's like the comp riders, you know what I
call
mean?
it single skill set versus multiple skill set.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. It's like there's so many different facets of scootering, and I think, I don't know, it's so cool. Like
it is, dude. It's super cool, and the contest scene is one that is very hard to penetrate. You can get into a lot of, like you're saying, there's so many different aspects of scootering, but the contest scene is one that you have to push your way into. You really have to muscle your way into that crowd. Otherwise, they're not going to...
What made you look at that crowd and be like, I want to be the best?
Probably my upbringing. Probably the way I was raised. Very determination mindset.
Yeah.
My father was very set a goal, go get the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anything stand in your way. Set your goal, go get it. And so for me, I needed difficulty. I needed peak level self-exertion every day. I needed a lot of meaning and purpose, And so I looked to scootering for that. I looked to World Championship for that, And it's good as a kid. As a kid, you can get away with those mindsets. But when you start to grow up a little bit and you start to define yourself by, scootering and where I stand on the food chain, it starts to get a little bit self
I feel like when you're a kid, it's like if your first identification is like, I am a child of somebody, you know what I mean? And then like whatever you have after that is like what you really try to go by, It's like then you have the kids in school like, I'm a football player, you know what I'm trying to say? And it's like when you can say like, oh, I'm a professional scooter rider, blah blah blah, it's like that's really something, you know what I mean? That's sick.
And it's funny because people don't understand how much that means. A professional scooter rider, like that pretty much means that you screwed yourself. Like if you know what I mean, like that's what that means.
How did you screw yourself?
Well, if you're a professional scooter rider, that means we're taking away all the other facets of income that a scooter rider could make in the industry. But if you're a professional scooter rider and that's what you do, and you're just ride your scooter, get paid by a company, and that's what you do for a job, you're not having kids, you're not having a wife, you're not. You can't support a family. So when someone hears I'm a professional scooter rider, they don't really grasp what that means. It means that that person sacrificed like their life pretty much to do something that they absolutely love, which is not coming back to them in some crazy financial way, not some crazy investment way or anything like that. So
that's funny.
A lot of people don't get it, man. Professional scooter riding is not it's not where you go to make it big. And
that's the other thing about it too, is like I feel like becoming the world champ in scootering is like insane, because you have to like do all of this insane work for like just like the pride of it.
All personal.
You know what I mean? For just
personal.
like the self-worth of it.
Yep.
And I think that is like a pretty all right thing for scootering right now, because like I feel like if there was some huge prize purse that was involved with it, like I feel like the potential legacy of the sport wouldn't be built up as much. I feel like if we have these years and years and years of just these riders who like train and do and put on because it's like they just want to do it for the boys, you know what I mean? Like I think...
Well, you don't, but and it frustrates me right now because there's not a whole lot of people like that. I do think that if we start to get and let's just say super stoked that we had 11, 12 years of this, you know, of without those big crazy purses. But now that Action Space is starting to come into it, and, you know, all these other organizations are starting to look at them and go, okay, well, we have to, you know, obviously try and put up a little bit more of a fight now. I think that that's actually going to motivate the riders more to become more determined and become more real athletes for it.
Yeah, but I think the fact that like we did have that point in scootering, or at least this time where it's like you're not going to win bid prize money for being world champ. I feel like that's so good for like the passion in the sport.
It's a really important phase.
But I feel like it's also really important that like in the future there is like very good prize pools for competitions, because dude, if we could have like a comp where somebody makes enough money to like live a year off of a scooter competition, and maybe not a year, but you know what I mean? Like at least a couple months where they could not feel bad about putting all that time into like what they're doing. I feel like that'd
be a cool place to be for the athletes, especially. You know, there's a lack of motivation right now because of that. There's very few people. I mean, I want to say there's like 5 people in the world right now that are that person, that are going to show up, and in their head they're going to see first and they're going to do everything they can to get it, but they're not, like you said, they're not doing it to get a paycheck. That's not going to happen. You know, I mean, Action Space was the only contest ever where we all showed up and we were like, this is life-changing money. That's the only contest we've ever had like that. I mean, BMX, all the other industries have had that before, but right now where we are at, it's just all hard work for personal reasons.
So do you know what I think is interesting to think about? And I think about this sometimes. I always think like, why isn't scooter competitions like the size of like football? Why isn't it the size of like MLB? You know, like why isn't it the size of all these sports? And like, I feel like it's competitive, but I feel like one thing that's strange, and I feel like maybe this applies to like most all action sports, is like a lot of like the winner is like, that's just like somebody's opinion. You know what I mean? Like, but in like football, it's like, it's a clear like who's winner. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, absolutely.
And I feel like what's interesting in scootering is like people, like you root for a person. There's like 30 teams in worlds, but like in like the NFL, there still is 30 teams, but at any given time, you're only watching 2 battle each other. So I think about like how is it possible to get more money into scooter competitions? Like, how is this going to happen? And I feel like the number one way to get more money into scooter competitions is like, we need to get the viewership up. And how do we get the viewership up? Well, there needs to be some incentive for the viewers. And I feel like a big reason so many people watch football is because it's like a lot of people bet on it. You know, a lot of people gamble on it a lot. Like, there's a huge industry behind that. And because of that, that means there's more people, there's just more hype around it. You know what I mean? So I thought, like, what if there was a way to like somehow like monetize like scooter competitions in a way, but it's really difficult because the entire judging aspect of it is all opinion based. You know what I mean? So it's like how could there be a way in scootering that's like a concrete winner that like nobody can disagree? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, is that possible?
It all depends on the quality of the judges. That's all we have to work with. You know, I mean, in this specific scenario that we're talking about, our industry, it's not a clear winner. I always think that I would like boxing or some sort of martial arts because it's so clear.
Yeah.
It's one-on-one. I don't have to beat 50 people. I just have to beat one dude. You know, and everything he does is like coming straight to me. Everything I do is going straight at him. It's not like I don't have to look at all these 30 people or 50 people and be like, okay, is this run going to be all 50 of these guys, or is it just going to be 10? Or
exactly, I mean? Yeah. But it's like that's what I feel like is almost kind of difficult sometimes about scooter comps is it's like, who is the clear winner? Because I feel like I can't think of a worlds that I've walked away from where like I remember there's one world specifically, and I was like so certain Dylan won. You know what I'm trying to say? I was so certain Dylan won.
We all were.
And like, I just wish there was like, and no one had any proof that he didn't win. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, because it is an opinion.
And it's just so interesting that there's like opinion based. But I was always curious, like, what if there was a way to like structure a scooter competition in a different way where there could be a clear winner?
I think the reason why it's going to be so difficult is compared to football. In scootering, you're not going to get to see that exact, what do you say? Like you're saying, clear winner. Whereas in football, you're going to actually get to see a winner that isn't decided by an opinion process. So in the scootering,
but in
it's
like Scoot, there's a clear winner.
It is a clear winner, but in Scoot, you're not taking into consideration style and things like that, which is the difference between football and scootering. It's like a judge in scootering has to look at how he lands the trick, not just the trick. Whereas in a football setting, it's like he made the pass, he made the touchdown, done. Doesn't matter how he did it. But in scootering, it's like that same thing would be way more overanalyzed. How long did he grind? How fast is he going? All those other variables all kind of make it to where it has to be an opinionated venue or result.
No, it's just like on one hand it's so frustrating because I love scootering so much, and I wish there was like such like an easy way to market it in that sort of way.
Just a proper structure. I've tossed around the idea of putting a certain point-based system onto each tricks. You know what a trick is worth, but you can't do that because that same trick can be done at a level 10 and it can also be done at level 1.
Just like I think about a 3-whip, and it's like if somebody 3-whipped off of a vert ramp to flat, it's like that's crazy. But if somebody 3-whipped like over a spine for their world's run, I'd just be like, come on,
come on, dude. We know off the vert ramp though, the whole crowd would go crazy.
So it's like then it's like, it's so interesting. Like just like it's all just opinion based.
And it is cool like that because it does open it up for that kid who's not necessarily the one who you would expect to win. It opens it up for those really nice styled riders who come to make it look good and not to make it be this giant expression of effort, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about scooter racing?
Man, I've been thinking about a lot more with this whole e-scoot thing.
Yeah, like what's your ideas on that?
I think it's badass, man. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, they did scooter races in Barcelona for Worlds.
Well, do you remember when we did the skater cross one at Claremont?
That was fun. That was tons of fun. I wish we did more of those. That was Scooter Farm, right?
I feel like here's the interesting thing about a scooter. I feel like no one's really taking advantage of. I feel like a scooter is like you have the potential, I feel like, of racing a scooter more than like the potential of almost even racing like a skateboard in a way. I feel like a scooter is so similar to like a bike or a motorcycle. You know what I mean? Just the geometry of it. And I feel like there's never been like scooter races. Like I feel like a scooter like there could be like in my mind hypothetically imagining like a snowboard style course. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, like the hybrid courses they have for like where it's like a street section, and then it goes into like fat box jumps. Like they could totally do something like that for scootering, and and scootering is like would work well on that kind of type of stuff. And like
it's not a bad idea.
You know what I'm trying to say? And I feel like it would be kind of cool to almost have like a comp run in a way where it was like a line or a course. And I feel like the reason that would be cool is because I think about it from like a viewership perspective, and it's like if somebody, like, it's kind of obvious, like when you're watching like a scooter competition and somebody cancels out the run halfway through, it's just like, oh, well, obviously he's not going to do that well for that run. You know what I mean? But I feel like sometimes like people kind of quit on their runs, or like people end their runs in a way that kind of just like is like anticlimactic or something like that. And I feel like it's sometimes just like not like a clear end to a run compared to if there was like a track with a start and a finish line, and your run was between those two. And if you crashed in the run, well, that was it. But like if you finished and you got to the end, it's like you could have the big crowd at the end that watches the recognition of somebody going over the line. That's like they finished their run. You know what I'm trying to say?
Made it to the bottom. It's like a rampage type thing.
So it's like, I feel like from a viewer's eye, for somebody that doesn't know a lot about scootering, that would be a clear way of being like, oh, they're contending.
Yeah, because they made it. Yes,
they made it. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's like, I'm just trying to think of unique ways that
I think that's a great idea, because scootering and snowboarding both work off the same properties of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just get a big hill and you put up a bunch of obstacles in that hill, and plus you get the
because then it tests consistency.
Well, I think also why it's going to help audience retention is because now you get to choose your lines, and it's clear which lines are different than the others.
Exactly. Yeah.
Circle skate park, it's hard for the untrained eye to know
especially if you're watching the same like thing over and over and over and over.
By the time you get to the second rounds.
But it's like if you're looking at this course and there's this purple rail that's really wild, and you don't really
hit it,
and you don't really see anyone hit the purple. When somebody hits the purple rail, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I think that's a solid idea. I think that's a great idea.
Because what if they just like? Would you prefer to do a world's run if it was just like all of the features you would hit in a normal contest just in a line basically?
Oh, absolutely.
And but like almost like a downhill line. Like I'm just imagining that. Like me and Clayton talk about that sometimes. We've wanted to put on a scooter contest where we like take all of our obstacles from the backyard and we basically kind of set it up on a little hill and we have like a downhill jam or something. But I feel like it could be taken to like the next level. Like I feel like people could put like legitimate like box jump size stuff. Like what if it ended with like a mini megas type thing? Like imagine the scooter bangers that would go down on that. Like real talk.
Bro, or a back-to-back mega ramp at the end. You hit like 3 mega ramps back to back.
But it'd be like the winter
prices.
It would be like the winter X Games course. You know what I'm talking about? Like
slope style.
It would be like slope style.
Also, that's great because people love to watch you drop into those.
Yeah.
They love to see you up there with your little statistic card.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now he's dropping down the course. It's not like, oh, now he's in the park.
And there's no time. There's no time on the run.
When you're done.
It's when you cross the line.
Yeah, gravity decides when you're done.
You know what I'm trying to say? And I feel like there's so much bullshit that happens in scootering runs because it's like homie will like do a gnarly banger, get out. I'm not talking about shoot, but somebody will come out. They'll do like a gnarly banger. They'll come out and they'll just like wipe their hands off and they'll breathe for a little bit, readjust, and they'll drop in again midway through their comp run. If it was like a downhill course, you couldn't do that.
That's a good point. Literally restrict the capability of improper competing.
Exactly.
That's a great way to combat the audience.
And I feel like that would keep the audience's attention potentially more.
Yeah, which in the end is going to make everything get more.
It would be almost like watching Red Bull Rampage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like a rampage thing because you get to the bottom and then your face is on the big screen and you got all the crowd down there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which would be like friends and family.
Yeah,
because that's what that is. It's like you got your rampage rider gets to the bottom. He's got his wife and kids and then a couple other family and then like maybe a few VIPs. It's not like a giant crowd or something. It's like the homies. So I think it'd be a great televised contest. I don't think it'd be that expensive.
I don't think so either. And I think that the other cool thing about it is like if you were to do it on like a public hill or something and have portable ramps, like run 1, run 2, and run 3 could all be different courses. Like
yeah,
potentially just switch the obstacles up a little bit. Like,
well, you'd have to. Oh, I guess you wouldn't. Yeah, you don't have to do boxes first or rails first or anything specific. You could be whatever you think would look sick.
Yeah,
I feel whatever the riders could.
I feel like ideally, what you'd want to do is you'd want to have the street section be first, and then you would end with the most amount of speed.
That's what you normally see in snowboarding as well. Yeah. I think that's great. I would love to see that. My only concern about that is there's not a lot of competitive pro park riders that want to get on the rails, man.
But it's not necessarily just rails. Like imagine
that would come into a huge part of your score.
But imagine just like having like pyramids.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Like pyramids, smaller hips.
I get you.
And then it just kind of worked its way up. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like there's a couple quarter hips. There's a couple like box jump hips. There's potentially like a step up, like tick step up that takes you into a bigger roll in for a bigger, you know what I mean? Like
I get you. It would be like the proper skill evaluation comp. Like you could really see where people are. When you put them in a skate park, they choose what they want to do. They choose where they put their hardest tricks. So you're only going to get to see their best of what they're at, what they're good at. But what you're saying is like, in that like confined space of that type of contest, you'd be forced to open things up. You'd be forced to ride say you're not good at rails, say you're not good at hubbas, say you're not good at step ups. You'd have to ride that because that's what you're given. Mm-hmm. So I think that it opens things up a lot to the crowd being able to see the riders that in an uncomfortable space and not just in there, this is everything I'm good at and I'm only going to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I just think from like a viewership perspective, like from just a marketing perspective, it'd be so smart. Like it would be the best aspects of a comp run. It'd almost be like a street jam in a way. Cause it'd just be like heat, like
it would literally be both. It would be a street jam and a park contest. Cause I'm sure you're having big boxes at the end. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing fatty feast boxes at the end of this course.
Yes. Like fat boxes that just
one after the other.
Yep. But like the whole beginning part is like chill. Like, dude,
that would be super. And like after the first bit, you have this little portion, like the snowboarders, they slow down a little bit. They get there. Okay, now we're hitting the big stuff. All right, let's drop back in, you know? I see it clearly, man. I think
and like the way they filmed it too, every comp run could be one continuous shot from just above.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be this like weird kind of like fuckery that they're doing with like the Worlds Now. You know what I'm trying to say? Where it's like like, cause it's like, dude, it's kind of hard to film scooter comps, especially in a skate park. Like I had to do it once at an Esco comp, and going into it, I was like, this is gonna be pretty easy. But like doing it, it's like there's so many obstructions of view.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this person drops in and they're like behind some crap, and then like they pop up again, and then they drop it and then we have to switch cameras like.
Meanwhile, you're like full parkour mode.
It's just like. It's like, damn, that was hard, you know? Like,
no, now I only have 150 more to go.
But I feel like if it was just one continuous shot of like the riders, it'd be easy to film, easy to follow for the viewers. Cause I feel like a lot of times something that I feel like maybe you and I would forget is like, viewers might forget where they are in the skate park. If the cameras are switching around a whole bunch, like, wait, didn't they just hit that thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought they just did that.
Yeah.
I get you.
So it'd be easy for the eye to consume.
That seems to be the structure of your whole statement here, is for the audience. I mean, this is going to help the rider as well, but I think that it's just going to be far more entertaining.
Well, I feel like that's the thing. Like I'm gonna be real for honest. Like I'm gonna be real for a second. I've been to a lot of worlds competitions, and like those competitions, when I was like a kid, when I was like somebody looking at those competitions from a third person, I was like, damn. They're at this really nice custom painted skate park. And then I bet this thing is really nice. I bet there's so much awesome things.
We all thought that.
Like I bet there's like someone told me that the riders have this lounge where they get all these drinks, and like it's just like chill. There's girls there. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
it's like a giant party.
Like, and I'm hearing about this and I'm like, damn,
dude, I gotta get
in
there.
I need to go. Like scootering is lit.
Yeah.
And I show up there and I'm like, I'm gonna pick on him. I see Richard Zlinka picking his butt. Like I just see like this total. And then I look at the skate park and there's like seams in between the ramps. Like there's literally gaps between the ramps.
Yep.
And I'm like, yo, like scootering is even more gnarly now. Like I thought this was like a perfectly groomed, perfect skate park.
When you're at home watching the contest, you think it's all great, but you get there, man. That park was built 48 hours before you ride it, and they did not. I mean, it's a venue. That's what Worlds is. Yeah. It's a venue.
And the thing is like even that competition. Why do they paint it? It's not for the riders. It's for the viewers.
Exactly. It actually makes it harder for the riders.
It does.
Yeah,
and it's like
softs the wheels in.
It's like it's already so much about the viewers. I think and right now they're putting a lot of emphasis on the viewers, but and if anything, it's like they're almost making it harder on the riders. I feel like the riders kind of they're used to it being hard.
Well, that's the thing, is we don't know what the other side of the coin is. Like we've done nitro comps before, and nitro when you show into a nitro comp, that is what you're saying. Like literally caterers there and servers and chiropractors and the full medical team, all that stuff. And then you go, so you can compare it to that, but it's a different type of contest. I mean, that whole contest is based on entertainment. Worlds is like it's not really as much of a, let's put on something that's going to make greatness. It's more like, let's give these guys the platform that they've been craving to show the world their skills.
But the whole point of what I'm trying to say is I feel like the riders go through pretty tough conditions now.
It is pretty tough, yeah.
Like, and I feel like going to a format that's like one continuous line, I feel like that wouldn't be that much of a stretch.
Especially if it was just that. Like, the biggest thing about Worlds that always comes in the way is that you have all these different contests happening, all these different sports.
Yeah.
Like the last WRG was actually the biggest one that we've had as far as how many different sports were there.
Yeah.
And so we were getting rushed onto the course. There was, from one of my practices, they kicked us off because we were running out of time. And like, it was just like, you could tell that it wasn't about scootering. It was about this like bigger picture of entertainment, which
is really awesome that they allow scooters into that. That's really
badass,
sick.
Dude, badass.
I don't want the point of this to be like us bagging on Worlds at all. No.
I think we even have covered it in such a way that they know. I mean, we respect Worlds so much. It's the best thing that we have as far as competitive contests go. But there are a lot of things that the general public doesn't know. Yeah. There's a lot of small things that are actually very difficult. Yeah. For me, actually, the biggest thing isn't something that can be done on the venue side, but it's the jet lag. Jet lag kills me when I'm going overseas and I'm there 3 days early and I have a contest and I'm like, 3 days is not enough time to get my hours lined up. So I'm like napping like 5 minutes before my run and they like wake me up and I'm in like this corner of the park on the ground. It's like, it would be nice to have a couch,
Yeah. No, I feel that. That's funny.
And every rider goes through it. You know, it's not any harder on one than it is the other. We're all dealing with it.
Yeah, because there's so few riders that are from the actual country where Worlds is happening. Everyone is jet lagged.
Dude, everyone's coming there. Everyone's going to whatever country, unless they have it in London next time, which is what I think it was going to be.
Wasn't
right?
it?
2020 was going to be in London.
Yeah, it was going to be in London. I really hope that they did continue to do it in Barcelona. I like that it's in Barcelona.
Dude, I like it for every reason other than the venue or the park, or I just like it for the Mediterranean. I like it for the women. I like it for the freaking
I think
habitat culture.
I think that is the perfect rendezvous spot for all of the scooter riders in the world to meet up.
Barcelona? Oh God.
And
Yeah,
I think it's so great because like it's warm. It's like a beachy area. The weather's probably going to be good.
The city is a skate park.
The best street spots ever.
Literally
Like,
ever. And no one argues that.
And I think like Worlds, sure, that's important to scootering, but I feel like the Barcelona just vibe is even more important to scootering.
Two very different things.
But I feel like I don't know. I remember my first time going to Barcelona, going to Worlds. It's like I wasn't like disappointed with Worlds, but I was so much more shocked about how much I just liked the culture of like just being in Spain. You know what I mean? Like that was the highlight for me. And I feel like that opportunity has been given to so many people that would never go to Barcelona if it wasn't for the scooter contest.
I would have never gone.
You know what I mean?
Would you have gone? I would have not been to Barcelona by this time in my life.
By this time in my life, probably not. No.
But I mean, I think that there's a huge difference between like park worlds and like Barcelona street jams and things like that, because you're getting into like industry first community again.
No, I'm talking about only the weekend that Worlds is going on.
Oh, like when all the riders are not competing and they're all just out in the
that's what I'm talking about.
Riding around. Those are the best sessions.
That's what I'm talking about. That being more beneficial to scootering potentially than
I think that's more beneficial to the community.
Yeah.
Because the contest scene's very industrial. It's very like which riders or which brands and which riders are promoting which brands more so than others, and which brands are getting the biggest platforms, and how are riders getting, you know, their companies that support them the biggest showcases and show lights, you know, and which riders are building connections with ISA, or like at the last WRG, I was actually able to sit down and have some conversations with the Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very industrial. Whereas I'm not thinking a whole lot in my head. I want to have tons of fun when I'm at a contest. I want to build connections. I want to get my rundown.
It's networking time.
Work hard. Exactly. I'm working. When I'm done with the contest and I'm out in Barcelona streets with all my homies, that's my like absolute relax, like time to have a good time to have some fun, time to just hang out with my awesome community of riders and walk through or ride through the most amazing city that I've ever been to. So
is Barcelona your favorite city?
Well, Spain is definitely my favorite country, but Malaga, I think.
We and I went to Malaga together.
And that's the only time I ever went there. But that was my favorite place I've ever been on earth, dude. That place was so perfect.
Dude, Malaga.
It was perfect, dude.
That place almost had as many spots as Barcelona.
It did. And remember that Spain thing.
Remember that there was remember the McDonald's that served beer on tap?
Yeah.
And then
on tap, dude.
And then across the street, they had that spot that there was no way that somebody built that and didn't think that was going to be written.
That had to have been planned.
If it
wasn't, then I don't know who, like what type of architect is doing that?
Like what type of people sat around a table and were like, no one is going to skateboard on this. No one is going to scooter on this. No one's going to like.
Imagine if they actually had no action sports background at all. And they were just like, this looks cool.
You know what I think about sometimes? Maybe we're just being really ignorant. Maybe a lot of these spots that we've been riding are from like, I don't know, like 60 years ago. Like if you think about how old skateboarding is, it's like, when did that really come into popularity? Like the 70s? 60s?
Yeah, they've definitely had some time for sure. They've been around for a minute.
But it's like, when did people start hitting handrails?
Yeah,
80s?
I'd say 80s. I'd say yeah, definitely 80s, 90s. That was when it started to get pretty gnarly on the rails.
So it's like a lot of these spots were built.
They've been around,
They were built way before.
And you can even tell, like when you're looking at them, they're like, this has been used. Like this has been around for a while. It's like a historic. It's like a monument. You know?
Did you see? I think it was Richard, and you know, like Richard is around like Rudy and Deodine and all of them, and they're kind of just doing the little film thing right now, which I think is really sick.
Oh, dude, they're killing it.
But they went back to Malaga.
I know.
And did you see all the spots they went to that we didn't see?
We didn't see. Oh, bro, that place is so perfect. We got to go back, man.
That skate park.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember which one did we go to.
There was the one with the bowl. Remember they have like that crazy BMX jam at the bowl?
That's right. That's right. All concrete. That park was huge.
For Malaga?
That park was freaking massive, literally like massive. Like that whole concrete section. Then they had that weird pump track thing. Then over there they had the whole street section, and then they had like this just giant room and space for everything else. That was a fun park.
Yeah.
Scary though.
So okay, Chris, I have a kind of a different question to ask you really quick. I've been meaning to ask you this.
Talk to me.
So I feel like one thing that's really cool about you is you're a unique person in this world, and I feel like you're somebody who's at the top of their craft, and I feel I'm not gonna try to put some pressure on you and be like you're the best ever, but it's
Thank
like
you for not doing that either.
It's like you can recognize to yourself like you're at the top level of scootering, like you're at the top level competing section of scootering, like you're at the highest level. You know what I'm trying to say?
Make me blush, man. Come on.
but you would agree with me.
Well, I try not to verbalize it, but I've noticed
why
that
not?
my efforts have put me in a position. Well, I mean, one thing I've noticed more so than anything is importance of effort, and to me, the importance of
no. I'm asking a different question.
What I'm saying is, I don't see a need to tell people something that I can just show them.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need to tell the kids that I'm the best or anything. For one, I don't think I'm the best. I very well might be a top 5 competitor.
Yeah.
But I'm not the best scooter rider. And so for me, it's like I just want the kids to look at me and think to themselves, like, dang, he's the best. The way I used to Dakota.
No, but it's like when you're at a scooter contest, you have to say to yourself, like, I'm the best. You know what I'm trying to say? In order to have that winner mind. And so the real question I'm trying to ask you right now is like, how do you summon that ego inside of you to be the champion, and then what do you do with it at other times? Like, how do you deal with that in your mind?
It doesn't go away
because
it's not something that comes on. It's something that's there 100% of the time. I live in that 1 minute. I live inside that 1 minute.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences between me and a lot of the other competitors. When I get there, I've lived that minute every day, all day long, all year long. When I get there, I've lived inside that 1 minute the whole year.
Okay.
So it's not like, for a lot of people, they get to that 1 minute and it's a different feeling. It's an abstract feeling. They don't really know what to do with it. And they get, it's like, I don't know what this is. I've put so much time and effort into understanding that 1 minute that I've realized, it's like we were talking about the tricks. It's like, stop doing tricks, man. If you got a bag enough tricks, just learn how to deal with the minute. Then you'll get to wherever it is that you want to go. So for me, it's just focus on that minute, stay inside of it, and it doesn't shut off ever. When I get into the contest, I'm not like, I'm in the run 100% of the time, all the way until that run is done and I land it the way I want to.
Yeah.
It's not something that turns on or turns off. It's just maybe one day it'll turn off. I look forward to that day.
But when you go to the skate park and you're doing any trick, it's just still thinking about how is this trick I'm doing right now affecting that 1 minute run?
Every single thing. Yeah. Yep. Every session, every day, that 1 minute's, yeah. It's like a philosophy. So you did, like at Action Space, you successfully did this 1 minute thing. Yeah, 45-second soul jam, so a little bit different, but yeah. So what did that feel like to obsess about this small period of time and then successfully I'm
do it?
gonna be honest with you. I'm not proud of myself.
No,
it's not a good feeling, man. It's like a fight. It's like a street fight. You get in a street fight, someone wins, no one's happy. Not even the winner. It's like I finished that contest and I was in my hotel room at night and I was just like, this feels great, I love it, but I was crying before the contest. I was literally crying because of pressure. I was in the back room like sobbing because I had so much pressure on my shoulders because I had been training so hard and I had this vision of what I wanted to do, and all of a sudden it just all came down on me and I was just like, oh fuck, like I can't handle the pressure. And I got to my hotel room that night and I was just like, maybe I'm done with the whole prove myself to everybody type thing because it doesn't feel to be helping me health wise. So I wasn't too proud of myself after it, but only because of the way I went through it, which was, I'm the best, I'm a champion, I'm a monster, no one can touch me, I'm freaking Mike Tyson, like all this ego boosting stuff. And then after it all, you just kind of realize what you've done to get there. And you're like, damn, I wish I took a little bit more humble approach, or I wish I took a little bit more focus on the youth. That's a big portion of it all, is focus on what are you doing? How is your career going to help people? So it's not a great feeling when you win a contest. That contest specifically changed my life. When I won that contest, like I received $20,000 and that money changed my life. I've never earned that much money in my life. Like my whole life changed and I was like, wow, I can breathe. I can literally feel what it's like to not have to run from bills or anything like that. So it definitely helped me financially and in some really helpful ways. But I'm not proud of myself for the mindset that I had to have to make it happen. It's not a healthy mindset.
Got you. No, that's fascinating. But
and it can be done. To all the kids out there, it can be done without that mindset. You don't have to go in there and think and make yourself believe that you're some monstrosity of capability. It doesn't have to be like that.
Do you think though at times it's potentially healthy to have a little bit of a big ego about yourself?
Expectations are good.
When you're in the moment, when you're really scared to do a trick and you're just like tell yourself like I'm the shit. Just to get yourself to do it. Like, do you ever find that to be like helpful? That's
actually interesting. I get it from other people.
Gotcha.
As weird as it sounds, but I get that from other people because I've gotten to a point where I can't trust myself. I've gotten to a point where I've put so much I've overthought everything in my career and in my life that I can't even really trust my opinion. So when I see someone else, like for instance, if one of my competitors that I respect, and I see their eyes while I'm boots in the air or something, and they're like, or give me some sort of expression that shows what I did impress them, that will give me a little boost. It's because like I'm competing against that guy. He just gave me a facial like expression that showed me that what I'm doing is impressive or whatever.
Yeah.
So now I can use that as like, maybe I am all right. Maybe I can do this or whatever. I would say go with that one before going with the ego one, the I can do anything, I'm the shit, blah, blah, blah.
I feel like there's a certain amount of like doing it for yourself though, and not doing it for other people.
Definitely. It to be honest, it all comes back to yourself. I think that we're all selfish people. Every person on earth, even the nicest person on earth, I think is still a selfish person. I feel like that's the only way we know how to live is from our experiences. We had this talk yesterday. All you know is what you know, and all I know is what I know. So yeah, it's definitely a personal thing. I would be lying if I said that this whole mission was for other people.
Yeah, no, of course it's for you. What I'm so fascinated about is like, how did you build up your mental to like get to the point to really recognize that I am the champ?
I lied to myself over and over and over again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I lied to myself every day, telling myself that I was the best in the world, telling myself that no one could touch me, and then going to a contest, finding out where I laid on the food chain, and still manipulating myself to think that I was the best. It's like the fake it till you make it thing. You fake it until one day you wake up and that's exactly how it happened. One day I just woke up and I was like, oh, Dylan Morrison, Jordan Clark, like I'm here with the guys, like I'm here with the best people in the world. I don't really know how it happened, but here I am. So it's just like any other competitive industry or community. You just got to do what it takes to get where you want. Look back on how you got there, learn from it, and then try and do your best as you keep going.
No, I feel that. I feel so what is like your next, I guess, chase in scootering? Like what is that?
I'm going to do it one more year. I'm going to do one more year of my big thing right now is to document my whole year leading up into Worlds. I've always wanted to do it. I never had the camera knowledge or the camera equipment to make it happen. But what I want to do is I want to show everyone out there what I've been doing all these years and show them exactly what it's taken to push into the circle. I tell all the kids, I'm like, that circle's not going to just open up for you. You have to fight your way into that circle so hard until finally you push your way in. So I would like to show the kids.
That's interesting. Hold on. Let's talk about the circle really quick. I feel
very tight circle.
I feel like in a way I've spectated the circle. I feel like for some reason I've been at the competitions. I've been
friends with every single one of them. You know exactly who they are. You know that circle well.
I feel like I've danced around that circle just being the person that I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm just there. But like that circle is so fascinating. I think about that circle all of the time, and like it's like what it takes for somebody to be like in that circle. You know what I mean? Like I don't consider myself in that circle. I'm around the circle, but you're somebody that's definitely very in the circle. And what I can specifically think about is just like the boys who are sitting down like the lobby at Adrenaline Alley or at the Best Western at Adrenaline Alley. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that little group, that conversation, that's like the circle. You know what I mean? Like
it's an intense conversation too. And those are the best athletes, the best scooter athletes ever.
what does that feel like to be around them? Like, is there a little bit of like, does it feel like uneasy in a way? Like,
not really. I mean, it's like if I was a kid and I was in that circle, I'd be super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to not match, but just keep in the same race. You know, I wouldn't be able to keep up with them. But now that I'm here and we're sitting there, say in the lobby, and we're all talking, it's like a very honorable thing. We all have respect for each other. Some of us do. Some other people don't have respect. But typically, when you get to the top of the food chain, everybody has incredible amounts of honor for each other. Like the way Coda looks at Dylan and the way Dylan looks at me and the way I look at Jordan, you know, it's like there's like this very like nod, like, you know, like I know you, I know what you've done. I know how hard it is to do it. No problems from me. You know, like I respect you. It's like, you know.
And do you think that is what you've been chasing this whole time?
I think I don't think it'd be far off to say it. There were a lot of role models that I had growing up as a kid. Dylan Morrison and Dakota Shoes were one of them, one of the biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And to get that nod from them was very important to me. So when I got it for the first time, when I felt like I was accepted by them, and when I felt like they were listening to me, and it wasn't just like they were accommodating me because they knew I wanted to talk to them or something, it changed everything. It changed my whole approach. It changed the way I saw them. It changed the way I saw public figures, just any public
anybody
figure.
I know.
I realized they're all just people. That
was one crazy thing that I kind of realized, like when I first started to get kind of popular and kids started asking me for photos and my autograph and stuff like that, it was just kind of like a trip, because I was like, I couldn't be that person, you know what I mean?
No,
like I'm stupid Will, like how could I ever be?
I'm a funny guy, like,
and then these kids come up to me like, and they're like nervous to meet you, and I'm like, why are you nervous to meet me? Like, I'm just a normal person. Like,
you're like, I'm probably more nervous than you are.
And then it made me like really think like oh wait, that's how every celebrity feels when they're talking in interviews and they're saying exactly how they're feeling. They're really saying exactly how they're feeling.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
Everyone's just reading too deep into it. Like, I don't know.
Way too deep, man. And there's so many of those little kids, man, that come up to you with those one-liners that you're like, come on, man. If you came up to me with something like a question or something, man, I'd be more than happy to give you a little bit of a, you know, conversation.
Dude, I get mad at kids sometimes when they don't challenge me hard enough with a question.
Yeah.
Like, where it's just like, Will, what's your favorite pair of wheels? My signature wheels. Like,
or if it's not even a question, if it's just like, I watch your videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watch your videos every single day.
What do you want me to do with that?
Nice.
Cool, buddy.
I had like one kid come up to me one time, and he really like challenged my head with the question.
Did he?
Yeah,
Tell
it was
me,
like,
I'm curious.
It was so weird. He was like, he like came up to me and he's like, Will, why do you paint your scooter crazy colors? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I like it. And he's like, oh, are you just like, is this your way of just like being your own individual? Like, is this because you're like, you just want to be like different from the crowd, like blah, blah, blah. And I started thinking about it. I was like, yeah, actually,
totally.
That's why.
So he actually answered the question for you then.
In a way, like he like kind of called me out, but I think he was more like asking a question for himself. Like, he's like, is the reason you paint your scooter to be different than other people? And I was like,
did you have to think about it for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Were you not? I bet you weren't expecting that. Type of material from a kid.
It was more like it took me a moment to just be like, oh, you asked that. Oh,
that actually came out of your mouth.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It was interesting.
It's cool. To be honest, it's really cool when you get to see how other people feel about your content, or you get to see that other people are really watching you. People are watching you, Will. That's crazy, man. People are watching Undialed. You and Clayton, you guys have a platform that is one of the most eyes on in scootering.
Thank you.
So you guys have done something amazing, and
do you know,
I
like,
respect it.
do you know my just like biggest genuine goal of scootering is like I feel like there's so much like happiness and so much joy and so much pleasure I've gotten in my life just from like the friendships that I've had. I always talk about the friendships in scootering. You know, it's so important to me. And I feel like that is what I really want to continue and pass on, is just like how scootering has the ability to be like an outlet for like whatever you want it to be, and you're gonna meet awesome people along the way. You know what I mean? I just can't think of anything better.
Me.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I absolutely get you. I think that's a great thing to focus on.
And
You can never lose when it comes to community. When it comes to your homies and your friends going out for a session, you can't lose.
And I think there's so much to like life that doesn't really get valued so much anymore. I feel like maybe I don't know about anymore, but I just feel like when you hear about things in the media, when you hear about what's important in your life, you hear like, you need to go to college, you need to do this and that, you need to do this and that. But I genuinely feel like one of the most important things in life is like the friendships and the bonds that you make with people around you. You ever heard the saying that like you're a reflection of the 3 people you hang out with the most? You know what I mean? It's like those are just relationships you have with people, and I just think like there's not enough emphasis like put on to like the relationships and friendships people make in scootering. And I've rarely ever seen like toxic friendships in scootering. I feel like the cool thing about scooter friendships is that they have this thing that they do because they both genuinely like it. And that's the only incentive.
I agree. I think that that's the best way you can share any relationship with someone is to be interested in the same thing. 2 people that share the same interest is like the combination of the best friendship. That's why I've had such a good time with you guys. That's why you and I have been through so much together.
So much.
So we've been on so many tours, so many trips, seen the industry grow, seen the community grow. And that's what it's all about. I think it's also cool too, because I feel like scootering has given a lot of opportunity for kids that don't like school. Like it's given a lot of kids like an opportunity to feel accepted and welcomed. And I feel like that's just that kind of action sports in general. Like I can't give scootering the only credit for that. I feel like there's so many skateboarders out there, so many bikers, so many scooter riders, so many rollerbladers, so many. We're all cut from the same cloth.
It's like we're all just kind of outcast, and just like the fact that
there's the skate park is like the lost souls,
the haven. Yeah,
it's like where all the lost souls go, and we all we don't fit in anywhere else, but we all fit in at the skate park.
That's so interesting. Like think about how important skate parks are for like social dynamic.
It's therapy.
It is.
It's actual therapy.
Skate park is the only place in the entire world where I can have a full-on conversation with a stranger about little pebbles getting in my way.
Dude, it's the only place in the world where you can feel comfortable. Everywhere else in the world doesn't make sense. When you're in the skate park, your life makes sense. Everything's good. You remember everything. It's like, oh yeah, this is right.
Because all that matters is what's happening right now.
Right now.
Am
I going to make this 50? That's the only thing that matters. I don't care what I'm having for dinner. I don't care about my phone bill. Am I going to make this 50 or not?
I feel like I wonder if that's only present because of the level of danger that's involved in it. Like I wonder like if I think about like golf, for example, it's like there's not that much danger in golf. Maybe you'll get hit with a golf ball, but like relative to scootering, I feel like scootering is way more dangerous.
From a physical perspective, absolutely.
Do you think that has to go like into the energy of the skate park? It's like because the skate park is moderately dangerous, people are way more in the now, and that creates a more chill environment.
I think a famous psychologist once said, the closer you get to death, the more you feel life.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of headlines what you're saying is we all try and do the same thing. We all try and get as close to that line as possible without actually going over. So the skate park kind of sets a fundamental startup for a kid who wants to push things. Any skate park kid, unless you're just going there to smoke and hang out. But if you're there to ride, you're setting yourself on this track of goal, achieve, goal, achieve, goal, achieve. I want this trick, go land the trick, next trick, go land the trick. It's not a common structure for a life that every human gets to follow. That's why I think it's the most, it's gorgeous. The skate park scene is so beautiful. I love it so much.
Facts. Oh, dude. I think like without skate parks, I would be so much more lost in life.
Oh,
like
same.
Absolutely. I feel like for probably most people watching the show, that's probably how it is.
Anyone who's watching right now, I bet we're all lost. We're just, the skate park's the only place that we feel found. It's like,
I wish cities would understand how like important skate parks are for the communities. Like
some cities do better than others,
but it's like it's unfortunate because I feel like a lot of the times it's like that's where the fights happen. That's where this and that happens. But I feel like it's almost like, why do the fights happen at the skate park? It's like maybe that's the only place where it's like it's allowed. You know what I mean? Like
exactly, because cops don't want to go sit at a skate park all day long. They want to drive by, look over, make. But
I feel like it's like it's almost okay for like a tweaker to be spazzing out and being emotionally insane in a skate park.
It's hilarious. Are you kidding me? If that's happening in the skate park, every person at that skate park's having the best time ever. You know, they're all messing with him. He's messing back. It's like,
a skate park is just an emotional dump zone.
It is. It literally is. There's no structure to it. It's just this free for all. It's like a zoo.
That's but it's like, it's where you dump your emotions. And they've literally built features inside of the skate park that are these weird shapes that don't make a lot of sense. And you just kind of, that's really weird when you think about it.
You just opened up a door. Yeah, that was interesting.
Like
each obstacle you can express a different emotion on it.
And it's just like, it's kind of just like the dump zone, but not just for people riding, for people who are trying to do drugs.
Yes.
For people who are trying to like fight people, for like girls trying to find, like, it's just the emotional dump zone.
That's exactly what it is. You're right. A lot of people that don't know what to do with themselves, so they go there and they just let it sit and see what happens.
Just dump all their emotions to the skate park.
Dude, and I'll have sessions too where I'll show up at the skate
think about
park.
the graffiti that goes to the skate parks.
There's a whole other one. There's a whole other side of it too. The tag teams, you know. Yeah, they come in and just mess.
That's how they express their emotion.
Exactly, that's how they do it. I've had sessions before where I'll show up at the skate park and I'll just ride the small ledge the whole day long because that's how I feel. Whereas I'll have other sessions where I show up and I'm in the vert bowl all day long. It's like that's two totally different worlds, you know. But because of the way I was feeling, I gravitated to one or the other. So I think that's super interesting.
Do you ever go to a skate park that has like a lot of history to it, and you like go up to a ledge? And you feel like that ledge has really seen some crap, and like the trick might be easier or harder, but it's like that ledge just has like this certain energy to it, and it's like you can either trust this ledge or you can really not trust. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's like I feel like most of the time it's like you can trust it more. You know what I mean? It's like this ledge has done everything. You know, it's like I can trust this. You know. But then it's like the funniest thing for me, and maybe this is just like a psychological trip I do on myself, but it's like whenever I build a new rail outside, whenever I build a new rail for myself, I get like really bad anxiety about doing a board slide. Like when it's like a virgin rail.
First time, yeah.
And it's like I don't know what it's gonna feel like. It's like even if I like run my decal across and I like know it slides, I get really scared because I'm like,
uncertainty is like the biggest fear of all.
Yeah,
you know,
and
dark.
It's like it's just interesting to me how I can go to a skate park I've seen in videos and I've never ridden that obstacle and I can just trust it. You know what I mean?
I feel you on the skate park thing, but for me, I feel it a little bit more in the streets.
Yeah.
If I see a ledge on a clip that I really, really liked, or like a really legendary clip that like that one ledge in LA, I think it was the skater did kickflip back lip and then it got capped right after. And since then, I don't think anyone's been able to hit it or something. It might not be in LA, it might be a different city, but still, when I went there and looked at it, it was just this legendary spot that I can't ride anymore because it's capped, but it had all that history sitting in it. And so I just literally sat there and just looked at it. And I was like, damn, that's where it happened. Like or Hollywood High. You go to Hollywood High.
Yes. Like there's like an aroma.
When you show up, it's a weight. You feel the weight of that spot. Same with El Toro. You know, like you feel the weight of these legendary spots when you show up to them. I feel that with skate parks, but I think I might have spent just a little bit more time in the skate park, so it might not be as interesting to me. Whereas
no, but I definitely understand the spots. I was more talking about spots in my head when I was talking about like the ledges at the skate park. I was really thinking about like the one that was I was thinking about in my head was the Third Army ledges.
Oh,
from San Francisco. Have you ever been there?
I was there on that scooter farm trip.
Yeah,
that video's dropping pretty soon, by the way.
But like, you know those ledges that are like the most worn down ledges you've ever seen in your life? Like those are the ones that I was thinking about.
They've been ridden every day for years. Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, when that thing got built, it was supposed to be a bus stop.
Was it really?
That was not a skate park. It was a bus stop. It was like, it was a Greyhound like bus stop area. And that all that crazy stuff was designed for like, just like a picnic area for like kids and their family. And that's why it has like that nice view of like little, like, but then the skateboarders just took it over so heavy. And then literally Greyhound was just like, all right, skaters can have it.
Do you think? I probably rightly so too, because that spot, I mean, that's another one of the spots. I showed up there. I'd never been there before. I went there the first time
in my mind, it's a skate park.
It is. Well, it is. It absolutely is. At this point, it's a line of features that are all rideable. So yeah, I mean, that's what it is.
Imagine coming across that thing when it was brand new.
Yeah.
And just like
being one of the first guys to
But I feel like think about how many tricks had been invented there.
True. Yeah, because you might actually that place has been around for a long time, so you might actually have like some of the first like kickflip smiths or something like that.
Yeah,
that was like ever done.
Like that's so interesting to think about. Like think about the evolution of skateboards that have touched those ledges.
And which ledges have had the first world's firsts on them as well.
Because there's, you know, like there's those ones that it's basically like they go like boop, and then it's like a little flat area, boop,
yeah.
And then you could like manual behind the back, but it's like those ledges are like real worn down. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
There's pictures online of those being like perfect squares.
No way.
They're not like rounded at all. They're like perfect. And I think about just like that. What's crazy about those ledges is like they've been grinded over and over and over so many times that like they've literally been torn down that much with dust.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like big chunks that came out. It was like every day it was just a little bit of dust, a little bit of dust, a little bit of dust, a little bit of dust. Just like, whoa.
Dude, that goes to show you. It goes to show you how many people out there are willing to just sit there and try the same trick every day over and over and over again. You know? And there's many other spots like, dude, that's just one of a million spots that are so legendary. I feel it in skate parks. Like for the first time I went to Chino, that was a big moment.
Chino gives me a very weird energy.
Does it?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Me and Clayton talk about this sometimes about how weird the energy is at Chino skate park.
If you had to describe it, how do you think you would?
Okay, Chino skate park to me is like, on paper, it's technically like a perfect skate park. And here's why. It's like they have a handrail when you first walk in. They have ledges that are good. They have really nice hips. They have
great quarters,
a really good, like iconic hip.
Yep. Bowls for days.
It's a little bit slippery.
Very.
But there's just something about that skate park that I just don't
weird?
like.
But you're saying weird because I feel it too. That's why I want to say. That's why I'm curious.
It's just this certain like energy that's at the skate park that just feels like off. In a way,
it might be a local type thing. It might be the locals.
Like it feels like I'm like when I'm there, I'm in the environment that I'm riding like a really, really bad, poorly made skate park. I don't like that's part of it for me is like I know I'm in a great skate park, but for some reason I feel like I'm in a really bad skate park. And I catch myself sometimes in really bad skate parks being like, this skate park is sick. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I think it's maybe how like the lines kind of flow together. And it's like, you maybe always are kind of like watching out for somebody because all the lines do flow together. Yes. Like it's dangerous.
That's a collide part.
And like, I don't know. I just feel like the locals there kind of suck. Like they do. There's just a weird energy at the skate park. I can't figure out exactly.
Yeah. Nolan's so lame.
But what's weird is I love Mini Chino.
Yeah. See, I hate Mini Chino.
You don't like Mini Chino?
I hate it. And I feel the opposite when I'm at Chino. I feel like everything I do isn't worthy of that park. You know, I start riding and I'm like, damn, like some of the stuff that's been done here, like I really got to step it up if I'm going to feel like I'm contending with some of the other riders.
Yeah, even though the tricks you're doing are on par with what happened there.
I still feel like, you know, I gotta step things up. This park deserves more. You know, this park deserves better tricks is how I feel.
That's interesting that you say that. Yeah, I've never felt
but
that.
It is very slippery. That's the one thing about it that I don't want to send big stuff there because that slipperiness is definitely a liability. You know, that could get you.
Yeah, no, that is a really slippery. Ugh.
But it's great. I've had many great sessions there. The scooter scene that there's.
No, I love the boys from Chino.
Branson, Cam, Nolan,
yes,
like all the
those are my
Michael,
boys.
all the homies there. It's just like they're my favorite people to hang out with, ride with. Chino vibes. I like them, but I've had a lot of bad sessions there. You know, I've had a lot of sessions like, okay, so I've told you this. You know my stories as far as qualifying for Worlds goes. There were like 3 or 4 years in a row where I got out for injury, like right before my flight.
Yeah.
And one of those years was at a Chino National contest that Branson actually won. And I broke my wrist, my scaphoid actually, right before my run happened. So like I have a couple long-term negative thoughts toward Chino, but not because of the ramps or anything. It's just myself, you know.
I competed at a scooter comp at Chino once.
Talk to me.
It was Nationals.
Which one? Which time?
You don't remember when I was at Nationals?
Well, I'm trying to remember. Is this the time that Matt Grippy rode?
It was the time. This was like 3 years ago at this point.
Branson won.
2017. Or maybe even 2016.
Okay.
No, it was.
Well, they wouldn't have had it there.
It was the year. It was the year that we had the comp at the Kentucky skate park Ollie's.
Yeah, that must have been 18 because 16 wasn't at It wasn't at
20,
Chino.
2018.
Must have been 18. I think that was the second year at Chino.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 17 Branson won it, 18 Branson won it, and then 19 I won it.
Yeah. So I competed at that one and actually did pretty decent.
Tell me about that run. What did you start with?
I'll tell you my exact run.
Please. I'll start to finish.
All right. Start to finish. Okay.
No ums or buts.
Bet. So we're going to start back by like the bowl, like the pool bowl, right? So I was heading towards the handrail side of the skate park, right? So on that little manual pad, I did nosy bar.
Okay.
Right? Then this is the most crazy trick I've ever done at a comp run. I don't know why I decided this was going to be a good trick to do. But you know, like that rail that they have on top of the pyramid that's kind of like a little bit thicker?
Mm-hmm.
I did back feeble hard 3 on the rail in my run. And then I came out of the bank before the stair set, did a rotor twist.
Wow. Yeah.
Landed, went, did front board whip down the rail. Then went and did
front board whip down the main rail.
Yeah.
That's super slippery. When you land on that one,
yeah.
that's like
and
the
then,
hardest
and
part.
then I was thinking about a really cool way that I could turn and go back to that ledge, but I found the easiest way to like turn and continue my speed to make it look good is I had to land and I had to corkscrew.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you were going to hit the ledge next and then you were going to hit the bank to bank hip, right?
Yeah.
I remember the run actually. Now that you're saying it, I remember.
So then I did like nose manual. I was going to do like nose manual bar twist, but I think I just did nose manual. And then I did...
Didn't you want to do full whip or rotor twist or something over the bank to bank, but you ended up just doing bar or something?
Then I just did a tail whip.
Okay, that exact same thing happened to me in that year. I was going to rotor whip it after the rail because I did backflip on the rail. Then I got to that spot and I just did bar spin, I think, or just tail whip, I think.
Don't you hate when you do rotor whips but you don't bar spin? And you just like do the most weird, awkward...
It just makes everyone look like you don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
Okay, so you land the whip and then where you going?
And then I drop in. Then I drop in like
tell me you hit the hip.
Then over the hip.
Please.
Bar whip.
Yes.
And then then
flare. Didn't you flare?
No, I did actually. No, I dropped in, and then I went to the little hip area, did the front foot impossible with my foot.
Okay. The classic.
And then dropped in, did bar over the hip, and then flared.
Okay, you threw the flare. That's on the spine, right? Was the flare on the spine in the
No,
hip
it was
side?
like it was like in that little bowl area.
So it was on the small one then, the small quarter. Yeah, that's a little small quarter to be flaring.
But dude, I felt that if I could choose the set of obstacles before going into a competition, like if I could be like I need a really long circle rail.
You and me both, brother.
You know what I mean? If I could like choose the course before I went.
Oh god, yeah.
Then dude, I feel like I could compete, but
well, I mean, to be honest, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but that's not your contest. Like that's not your contest.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna do great in a different type of contest.
But I feel like then it would just be like who can design the best skate park contest.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, here's my fingerboard part.
In which case you'd win. You'd put some flames or some volcanoes in there. Your tech deck course is insane.
That's what I was thinking about when I was talking about. I was like, I kind of built that.
Yeah,
like,
you did. You already did it. You already did the whole thing. Now we need to get you like an actual license to go build some parks. Because now that we know what the example version is, we need more of that actually out there.
Dude, I would love to build skate parks. That's like my life goal. My life goal in life. My only life goal, because I only got one life.
Some really cool people out there that do it, man.
Is I want to buy a building like the size of an Amazon distribution building. Like we're talking like 1 square mile.
That would be...
And I want to build just like a community.
That would be the sickest thing.
A community for like outcasts.
Have like housing around it. Literally have just everything you'd need. Have
the housing be inside. Just like, you ever been to like Paris Hotel in Las Vegas?
Not that I can think of. Oh wait, yeah.
And you walked around, and it looks like you're in like Italy, and you're walking around like the streets and stuff. Like,
and all they did was just dress it up.
That's what I want to do. But imagine if each section of the skate park was like a different theme. So there was like a Barcelona section.
That's not me, man. That's not me. I'm so much more basic in my brain than you. You're like Will's out here, like he does like this like empty canvas of like white.
Of course.
And he's just like, all right, let's draw. Like, what can we do?
Always.
I'm like, just give me the park. All right, let me start writing tricks out.
But then like imagine like inside of the Barcelona section, inside of the skate park, there was also like a kebab shop. Because it's like Barcelona. You know what I mean?
Dude, that was actually one of my favorite things about Barcelona. Lamb kebabs.
Were those healthy for you or not?
Well, I mean, Come on, I don't know. I don't tasted good.
But let me do you think the fast food in Europe is better than the fast food in America?
I would think so. I don't have statistical backing to prove that, but based on taste, I would think so. I mean, the McDonald's in Australia and Europe is definitely better than our McDonald's.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
Our McDonald's is kind of trash, low key.
Shit compared to them. Yeah.
Ugh.
A lot of our fast food is pretty trash, except for In-N-Out. Man, I love In-N-Out.
Oh, I could use some In-N-Out right now.
Want to go after this?
Absolutely.
Let's go to In-N-Out.
In-N-Out
Let's go have a
sounds
session.
so good.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that and let's go have a little session.
All right, guys. Well, on that note, we are going to go get some In-N-Out. And I really hope you enjoyed this podcast today because I feel like I love talking to Mr. Chris. He has a very unique outlook on life. And actually, all of us have a unique outlook on life. That's something you can't forget. You can't forget how unique your perspective is because that's really all you have at the end of the day. But anyway, guys, go follow my boy Chris on Instagram.
Thank you so much, you guys. I love this podcast. I love what you guys are doing. Remember, if you want to support this podcast, just get active, man. Drop a comment on who you want them to have on next. I want to see this grow. I think this is the best thing that you guys, anyone can be doing for the community. So,
heck yeah.
mad respect.
So, thank you guys. Peace out.